to. Larry will get feedback.
If you ever listen to the show, you've heard about the heart scan that from Dr. Ken Kronhaus from Lake Cardiology. Every week he does a house call with breaking health and medical news, and that's where we start Thursday at 8:05. We only do it once a week. And then we're getting into some of this debt crisis stuff, which we were loading up on big time in the 6 o'clock hour today, and we had an interview with a top person in the Tea Party movement at 7:30. And then we're getting into whether or not Judge Belvin Perry is doing the right thing in withholding the names of the jurors for their safety, or whether he doesn't have the power to do that. And what else we got? I don't know. We got a lot of stuff.
Story.
Yes, yes. Yeah, the food police are making McDonald's nervous. We'll talk about that.
All right, so you see on your screen that Dr. K is ready. Over to your right.
Okay. Our technical people have done a great job of making us portable down to this end. Frank, sitting right there in the blue shirt. Love this guy. Thank you very much, and everybody else who helped out. But it's a little bit different, and I'm an old dog, and it's, always tough to learn the new trick here. So I'm a little nervous and jerky here. But you're going to do all the drops. I don't have the drop button.
You don't have to drop anything.
Okay.
You're fine.
That's the biggest power trip in talk radio, and it's something that I wish I had at every cocktail party. The button that you can push to make somebody stop talking.
Michael, you got us. Can you talk down the line?
The best thing about talk radio. Bam.
Awesome. Thank you. Oh, stream looks great, Jimmy. Where's Jimmy? Thank you.
That looks pretty good.
Yeah, it does. It looks great.
Don't scowl at me, because you're on candid camera.
I'm not going to scowl at you.
You might.
Do you want one of these? Jimmy D. I'm assuming that these mics are always live. Okay.
Is that true?
Yeah, so when we go to break, whatever you say will be on the stream.
Whoa.
Dennis is just going to sit here and eat steak in front of us. Nice of him.
Yeah, you need to go sit in the back somewhere.
Doesn't he look sharp in his suit, though?
He does.
Who's a little professional sales guy? Mike, I don't want to freak you out, but I'm going to try to bring Dr. K online now to see if I can on my laptop. Did that work? Is he up? Okay, perfect. So I can bring him on and drop him then.
Hour number 3 on a Thursday morning here on BHL, where God and country are honored and old-fashioned American values never go out of style. And Thursday at 8:05 means a great tradition on the show, and that is our weekly house call from my doctor, Ken Kronhaus from Lake Cardiology, with a bag full of breaking health and medical news he's been researching. Doc, good Thursday morning to you.
Hi, Bud. The black bag is very full this morning.
I bet it is. Let's start with an obesity update. One of our weekend hosts who are here and watching the show and enjoying a great steak and eggs breakfast from our friends at Schuler's 347 said, Bud man, you look terrific. You know, you lost that weight on Medifast. Let's talk about obesity and some interesting research about if you want to lose weight, maybe something that you need to do you would never think of, Doc.
Sure, Bud. This is out of the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition this week, that eating the same foods day after day may make you so uninterested in your meals that you start eating less. This meal monotony may actually lead to reduced calorie consumption, but the trick here, Bud, is balancing this idea with the importance of variety to good nutrition.
This is not a license to order a pizza loaded every night of your life. Okay, I understand. And personality can also be linked to the issue of whether or not you are likely to be fighting chronically the battle of the bulge. What's the research on that, Doc?
Exactly, but more breaking news about how the mind affects our health is out of the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology this week, that people who are impulsive, aggressive, or risk takers are more likely to weigh more.
Very interesting as well. Let's move on to stroke. Now, folks listening here may say, well, I'm too young to be worried about stroke, but maybe they've already seen the ravages of stroke in their folks or friends that they know and love. And the way you look at the world, new research is showing, actually can have a positive impact on lowering your risk of being a stroke victim, Doc. What's the deal?
But more information this week about how, again, your mind, your personality affects your future health. This is out of the medical journal Stroke, which is an American Heart Association journal, that being optimistic may actually reduce your risk of stroke. People who are optimistic, they expect a favorable outcome. They also tend to focus on the most hopeful aspects of a situation. Those who expect the best things in life actively take steps, Bud, to promote health.
Boy, the mind-body connection, and there's another manifestation of it in the latest research there. Interesting stuff, Doc. Now, listen, I love this job, but a good night's sleep is not what morning radio is all about. And there's some research here that actually gives me pause for some real concern. Let's talk about it.
Well, there's always room for improvement. I think the only hope about this study was, and I hate to quote animal mice studies, this is a mouse study, but it's a very important one. Disrupting sleep, make it harder for mice to recognize familiar objects. This is out of the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences this week. And why I think this is important is because it shows that the brain uses deep sleep to evaluate the day's events and then decides what to keep. So if you are frustrated with your memory, you may want to try each night to make it through the night of sleep, 7 to 8 hours a night for adults, even more for teenagers. It is a challenge.
No kidding. Fragmented sleep has a negative impact on memory. What's her name? My producer's next to me. Jenna, did you hear that? Okay, let's go on as we continue with a house call here, Doc.
Uncalled for.
What?
Uncalled
Well,
for.
that's who I am, and it's what I'm all about. It's what I do, and you love me. All right. More with Fräulein Vincenberg a little later, but right now back to Dr. K on the house call in our closing moments here. A connection between cancer risk and height, Doc? Are you kidding me? That just sounds amazing.
This may be one of the reasons why we're seeing more cancers out of the last century. This is out of Lancet Oncology this week, that tall folks may be more likely than shorter people to develop cancer, but gains in height over the 20th century may help explain some of the cancer differences that have been seen in recent generations, but there are ways to lower your risk of getting cancer, things you can do yourself, like not smoking, maintaining a healthy weight, limiting alcohol intake, and getting the recommended cancer screening test, and importantly, getting enough sleep.
Doc, I'm down to about a minute on the house call. Let's talk about the Medicare prescription drug plan. One of the controversies in Washington is how that's helped to ring up the debt because it wasn't fully funded when it was passed during the Bush administration. But let's look at the Medicare prescription drug plan from the standpoint of whether or not it is added to or subtracted from health care costs in this country.
Well, President Bush is looking good this morning. This is out of the Journal of the American Medical Association this week, that non-drug-related health care costs have been reduced for elderly patients who gained better prescription drug coverage. But under Medicare Part D, most of these healthcare cost savings were thanks to reduced inpatient and skilled nursing facility care spending, but reductions in costs were also seen in the doctor's office.
How about that? And with that, we'll wrap up the weekly house call with my Dr. Ken Kronhaus from Lake Cardiology. We'll look for you next Thursday, same time at 8:05, my friend.
Be well, bud.
All right, thank you so much. And by the way, if you have any heart concerns or you want to know more about the Bud scan that I've been talking about on the radio forever that saved my life, call Lake Cardiology, home of the amazing Dr. Ken Kronhaus. His number is 352-735-1400, 352-735-1400. And Dr. K is on the radio every weekend like just about all the folks in our special studio audience this morning who host our weekend shows on 540 WFLA. Catch Dr. K on Good Day Health with Dr. Ken every Sunday afternoon at 2. Guess what, Jenna? I did that all from memory.
Oh, my gosh. Good
I
job.
guess the bad sleep isn't taking its toll yet.
Are you going to go home and take a nap today?
Yes, I absolutely am.
Are you going to use your walker with the tennis balls on it?
Okay, you're right after you drive me back to the home. All right, we continue. We got to get into what's going on, debt crisis related in Washington. What has happened to Allen West and Grover Norquist? What version of Obama Kool-Aid did Boehner feed these guys? Stay tuned. We've got to talk about this, and we will as we continue charging toward the 9 o'clock hour. You're on the 50,000-watt front porch with a Budman, Jenna, and company. Good morning at 8:12.
Mike, remember that this live read is going to come after the news highlights. Yep, we go traffic, weather, headlines, live read, spots, another live read, then back.
You're going to cue me as to when I start the spot?
Yep.
Getting such a kick out of test driving these hot cars from Fountain Acura. I'm behind the wheel of their new 2012 TL, which is a mind blower. Go down and test drive it at Fountain Acura. And while you're there, you need to know this. July's almost over, and they've extended their fabulously successful pre-4th of July sale to the end of the month. And you can drive off the lot today with incredible deals like this on a new 2011 Acura TSX. What a honey from Fountain. Are you kidding me? Zero down, zero security deposit, zero first payment, zero do-it. Lease signing, all for $329 a month for 35 months for well-qualified buyers like you. And very similar 0,000 deals only at Fountain Acura through the end of the month. And when you go to Fountain Acura, you tell them the Budman sent you. They're part of the Fountain Auto Mall. They love to hear the Budman's name at the Fountain Auto Mall. And when you buy or lease a brand new Acura from Fountain right now and tell them the Budman sent you, they will give you absolutely free the amazing and valuable Fountain Acura Platinum Maintenance Program. Just tell them I sent you. Fountain Acura, they're at South OBT, worth the drive from anywhere, right south of the Florida Mall, and online it's fountainacura.com. Sound as good down there as I sound in here. No, I'm fine, thanks. It sounds so good.
Probably because down there you have a lot of RFS space. So all of the signals in the building coming in.
Frank's taking good
Right
care
here,
of
we're
me.
in a very controlled environment. He is taking very good care of us.
entirely too smart for your own good.
I'm Bill Burke.
Oh, I'm Lynn.
Great, nice to meet you. Breakfast was great, thanks.
Good, thanks.
30 seconds. Thanks, Mike. He'll do a typical rejoin and then the bumper.
You ever have a kidney stone? I have only had one. It's the worst pain I've ever felt in my life. I was shocked about it. What I didn't know at the time is, what I want to tell you now, is that we here in Central Florida live in what they call the Stone Belt. The Stone Belt. We are more prone to kidney stones than almost any other region in the country. Now, why would that be? Because of our amazing heat and humidity that goes on forever. We go out, we get dehydrated, and dehydration is a leading cause of kidney stones. Amazing. If you think you have a stone, please don't go to the hospital just to sit in the ER for hours. Instead, go see my friends at Orlando Urology Associates. Orlando Urology Associates have 5 board-certified doctors, just wonderful people, and boy, do they know their stuff. Orlando Urology Associates has been serving Central Florida for 60 years. Few businesses can say that. Orlando Urology Associates, famous for their kidney stone rapid care. With kidney stone rapid care, Orlando Urology Associates can see you, diagnose and treat your kidney stones all in the same day. Orlando Urology Associates, when the pain doesn't allow you to wait, they're the folks you want to be with. Check them out online at rapidstonecare.com. rapidstonecare.com. What a mess in Washington on the debt ceiling situation, and we've got to talk about what's going on. I've got enough to keep me going for 3 hours that is all fresh from yesterday's show, believe it or not. And I am angry and I'm incredulous about the flip-flop by Tea Party hero Alan West and some others who, after a meeting with Boehner, suddenly came out touting his latest plan, which is an absolute fiasco. What has happened here? What version of Obama Kool-Aid did Boehner make Alan West swallow? You know, the Obama Kool-Aid? You swallow the Obama Kool-Aid and you follow Obama's line no matter what it is. And now there's some kind of a version of it that is affecting rock-solid conservatives, because Alan West came out of the meeting and they had showed him a clip from some Ben Affleck movie, and after that he got inspired to say, House Speaker Boehner, I'm on board with your plan. This plan is a disaster. How in the world could rock-solid Tea Party guy Alan West possibly flip-flop on this? And Grover Norquist, this guy is the heart and soul of the anti-tax movement. And all of a sudden he is saying the Boehner plan is the way to go. First of all, the Boehner plan does not make the kind of cuts that are going to get us anywhere where we need to be. And they are certainly going to encourage a downgrade by the credit agencies that are right on the verge of doing that right now, which is going to cost the government and all of us money whenever we borrow for anything. We already passed in the House cut, cap, and balance. That's rock-solid conservative stuff. That has the cuts. That has the protections that we need. I know it's dead in the Senate, or so they say, but so is the Boehner plan. The Democrats have all signed off and said, send it over here, we're sending it back, nobody's going to vote for it over here. What in the world is going on here in Washington? And why is the Boehner plan suddenly being swallowed by the likes of Grover Norquist and Alan West? What kind of deals have been made here? I don't know. Maybe it's just the Kool-Aid. Help me out. I'm telling you, I'm not happy about this. And if you love this country and you believe in conservative principles and fiscal restraint and the need to stop the insanity in Washington, you should be outraged by their flip-flop. Maybe you can explain it to me, because I simply cannot believe that Alan West has signed on to the Boehner plan. Can you? 407-916-5400. Toll free, 1-866-916-5400. Join me. Let's talk about it. And right now, let's step aside for less than 60 seconds and check real-time traffic and weather together on the twos. Good morning at 8:22. And we're looking at sunshine this morning, and we're looking pretty good so far, but afternoon heat and humidity that'll take us close to the mid-90s probably will torch some showers and thunderstorms where you are, touch them off. And right now we're looking at a 77-degree reading here in Orlando. In a moment I'll tell you about the trap I honestly believe is being set for John Boehner by Reid and the Democrats on this deal that is going up for a vote today, the new Boehner plan, okay, which I do not support. But right now we are talking about what in the world is happening that after a closed-door meeting yesterday, Alan West and a bunch of other people who were vehemently opposed to the Boehner plan came out of the meeting and said, yeah, we're all on board. Boy, this really sounds great for America. Oh, man, I'm in for this. Oh, this is, I don't know what I was thinking. Cut, cap, and whatever it was, balance there. I don't know what it is, but boy, I tell you what, that Kool-Aid was delicious. Let's go to the phones. Line 1, Mike, you're on from New Smyrna Beach with a Bud Man on the flip-flop by Alan West. What do you think?
Bud, I love the show. Give me 40 seconds to tell you what I think.
I'll give you a minute 40 if you're any good.
Okay. But nobody wants cut, cap, and balance more than I do or Alan West, okay? And nobody wants the Tea Party to succeed in reducing spending or lowering taxes more than Alan West or me. But this is a big picture issue, Bud. And if we don't take what's possible to pass, maybe half a loaf, we may end up with no loaf.
Well, hang on one second, my friend. I appreciate all you say, but do you understand that the Democrats all together sent over a note from the Senate and said, don't bother. The Boehner plan ain't passing either.
I don't believe that, Bud. I don't believe the Boehner plan is as dead as cut, cap, and balance is because of the Senate. And I will agree that the Boehner plan is admittedly very imperfect, and I know that West does not like it either. But really, this is a big picture issue. And, Bud, we did great in the 2010 elections, the Tea Party and the GOP, but the real prize, Bud, the real prize is the 2012 elections, where we can get rid of this socialist in the White House. This is more important than anything. It will save our country, and this little deal that we're having right now is just part of the deal. We can't lose everything we have gained up until this point just trying to hold our stand like the Tea Party members want to do. And that's
Mike, I understand what you're saying, and let me take it from you right now and tell you something. Here is what I'm concerned about, and I'm not the only one. Eric Erickson, writing in redstate.com this morning, hit me right between the eyes with something I'd been thinking about, and I says, well, maybe I'm the Lone Ranger on this, that I suspected a plot, a trap by the Democrats in the United States Senate, led by Obama minion Harry Reid, the majority leader, on this Boehner plan. And here is what I think is going to happen. He will squeak it by the House because he's hornswoggled West and the rest of these guys and hoodwinked them somehow. I have no idea what that is. He'll have enough votes, Boehner will. Goes over to the Senate. They take it up, but they tack stuff onto it, like some of the Gang of Six stuff, which is a total disaster. Like some other things that they throw on there. And it wears the same label when it comes back to Boehner in the House. And Boehner is put in the position then of saying this is unacceptable and having to kill what was his own original plan. We don't make the August 2nd deadline. We have the credit downgrade and or default, and it all comes to rest in the blame game on the shoulders of the Republican Party and the House of Representatives. Let's go to line 4. Weighing in, here's Ed in Tangerine with a Budman. Good morning. I love your little town up 441. Good morning, Ed.
Okay, it seems like that you've already answered my question. I heard it all day yesterday about if it goes to the Senate and they come back and they take it up and they send it back to the Senate. I mean, they send it back to the House, and so they get all the Democrats to vote for it. And you get about 75 of the so-called conservatives in the House, it'll pass. And there we're stuck.
Well, there you go. Are you telling me you heard this yesterday? Is somebody a day ahead of the Budman? That's never happened before in the history of talk radio. I can't imagine. We can't have that. We're going to investigate. Stay tuned. It's 8:28 on BHL, bottom of the hour news update with Larry Spillman. And then tell me, Casey Anthony case judge Belvin Perry has decided he will not release the names of the jurors until late October. Does he have the right to do that? Is it the right thing to do? My take and your calls as we continue for another half an hour here on BHL. Good morning at 8:28.
Hey, boys, look, it's a summer edition of the Crooks R Us newsletter.
Yeah? What's the headlines?
Good news. I figured since SafeTouch has their crash
We're okay, we're up.
technology,
We're good.
Mr. Jackson's going to have to go up on his price soon.
So how are we doing?
Really?
Hold still. Ow, what was that for?
It's fun having a live audience.
Stop encouraging him. He's going to want this every day.
I need a live audience.
Yeah, and years later, SafeTouch is still less than $1 a day.
I've said that before. I would take it out there. Yeah. I used to be a weatherman too. You know, Roker and I used to do the weather in the same town at the same time in Syracuse, New York, in 2 stations that were about a quarter mile apart. He's a great guy. He's making tons of money with the cushiest job in the business, but he's a great guy. Well, he's not out there that long.
Conditions apply. $1 a day and 36-month prepaid agreement. Some items mentioned are optional. Call 407-331-0335 or go to SafeTouch.
Are you a Rochester? Yeah. Oh, yeah. I spent years in Syracuse. Oh, withers the pits. Well, sure.
The buildings are greener, the people healthier, the streets less congested.
So what are they serving up? It's steak, obviously, if it's Shula's, and eggs, and
more prosperous, more livable, and more environmentally
just really good.
Somewhere in America, our team of more than 60,000 employees spends
all I
every day
need.
creating answers that will last for years to come. Siemens.
What is it up to? The bid is huge.
Siemens.com/answers.
Time for a pop test. Not something you want to hear if you happen to be a friend.
I stopped bidding at 15. I mean, I was out.
Grounds, we give the burst test, where we put our filters in a pressure chamber and crank it up until they explode. Pop. The result is a filter that takes more pressure than driving conditions could ever produce to help protect your oil and your engine.
You know, the media only covered this because there was a demand. Every time anybody put it on, the numbers went through the roof. People wanted to see it, so they gave them what they wanted.
Don't fail your engine.
Just kind of what we try to do every morning, you know, in one way or another. I mean, that's just the way it works, but it's something sick about this culture. Oh, sure. Belvin Perry was railing on that, too.
800-974-2712. Apartments in Orlando and Lake Mary. Spokesperson, not an attorney.
Hey, folks, Dave Ramsey here.
Yep.
At mytotalmoneymakeover.com, you can join tens of thousands of people who are winning with their money. You'll learn how to make a budget, download the Dave Ramsey Show commercial-free, and so much more. Join the group today at MyTotalMoneyMakeover.com.
But he's not going to release the other names. A few jurors,
Bud Henninger Live
themselves.
continues with news from the Fox Orlando News Center on 540 WFLA.
Frank, it's just news. Fine.
A College Park woman faces a judge today in the shooting death of her boyfriend. Investigators say Karen Kelly and Philip Petrus had been.
I may bring you in on this because you always like this legal stuff. He wants a new law, and I think it would be perfectly appropriate. Because otherwise, you're not going to be able to seat juries. Oh man, this sounds so great. How come she won't give me the great setup you give me?
Oh, come on.
I show up every day and I work with this woman.
I tried explaining to him that it's the reception in that room.
Oh, please. But when I'm like this, no. That's cool. You're trying to snow me.
That's not hooey. When you have the air feed in your ear, you can barely hear 540. That is not hooey. Yeah, yes, the speech.
He's not here for the bed man?
No, Dan's gone.
Dan is what?
Dan's gone.
From what?
New York.
What's he doing in New York? Early girl?
Friend, yeah. He left last night.
Do we have any business we need to do at the end of this show? We don't really do.
Nothing. We're good to go.
From the David Moss Chevrolet Sanford Traffic Center, not doing too badly along I-4, just one area of slow traffic, that is eastbound I-4 from the 408 through downtown. Westbound I-4 is up to speed from Lake Mary into downtown, and we're in good shape along the interstate throughout the attractions area. 408 still pretty busy as you make your way from Mills Avenue into I-4. We are delay-free along 528. The Turnpike is in good shape as well, and no problems for you in either direction of 417. From the Traffic Center, I'm Courtney Bright.
Traffic on air online, brought to you by David Moss Toyota.
Hi, I'm David Moss from David Moss Toyota in Sanford, where our goal is to never lose your business over price. Right now, you can purchase any new or quality pre-owned vehicle from the comfort of your own home. All you have to do is visit davidmosstoyota.com and search our entire inventory. David Moss Toyota, whatever it takes.
Car crash, on your cell phone, dial pound law. Morgan & Morgan, for the people. From 540 WFLA, Orlando's 24-hour weather channel. High pressure is the most dominant weather feature for us here today, tomorrow. Just an isolated storm in the forecast both days. 94 this afternoon, 76 tonight, up to 95 for tomorrow. Weather is updated around the clock on 540 WFLA. Ray Stajic from the Weather Channel.
Your order of scrambled eggs, toast, and bud is ready. Back to the 50,000-watt front porch on 540 WFLA.
Off the Casey Anthony case, do you agree with Judge Belvin Perry's decision to delay the release of the jurors' names until things calm down, until late October or maybe even later? Or has he exceeded his authority? 407-916-5400. Toll free, 1-866-916-5400. The Budman and Jenna here, and Mike in the control room. Special setup today. We have our 540 WFLA experts who are with us. They host the weekend shows on Saturday and Sunday on all manner of things, and it is awesome programming, and they are great, great people and patriots all, and it is a privilege to have them with us in the big conference room as we do the last hour of the show live with them this morning. And thanks to Schuler's 347 for the steak and the eggs and all the trimmings. Now that's breakfast. Awesome. Let's get back to this story here with Judge Belvin Perry. I hold this man in such high regard in the wake of this trial. He kept it buttoned down, and he really was at the top of his game. And I just thought he did an exemplary job. I really have very little to criticize Belvin Perry about. And I'm not going to criticize his decision here, even though it flies in the face of tradition in the state of Florida and our very broad public records laws where we do business in the sunshine. It flies in the face of all of that for him to have decided that the threat of violence against these jurors in the wake of this verdict that so many thought was so wrong, there's such a threat to the safety of these people that he is not only going to delay the release of their names until late October or maybe even later, until he feels that all of the furor has subsided, or at least subsided enough, because he is worried that some one of these jurors will be attacked or killed. It's as simple as that. He's very direct about it because, I mean, this was a media circus. The whole world was watching, and there are people who are angry. There have been death threats out there. A couple of the jurors made their names public, which they have the right to do as soon as the verdict is rendered, and which is what generally happens with the entire jury after a verdict is rendered. Everybody gets to know their names. Well, these three now regret it. One of them had to leave the state because of threats against them. So Judge Perry's quite right. We can see that. Judge Perry also wants what I think is needed here, and here's where I want your phone calls. Do you agree with me that the judge is on the money when he advocates a new law to keep juror names hidden in specific and rare cases, high-profile, controversial cases like the Casey Anthony case? To keep those names hidden in order to protect the juror's constitutional right to privacy and to prevent potential jurors from avoiding service, and also to keep the jurors safe. I've got to tell you, we need that law here off the Casey Anthony case because people are going to be too frightened to sit on a jury in a situation like this, and you're going to have trouble getting juries for cases like this in the future. Beyond the safety of this particular jury, which is paramount, and it's a legitimate point he's making, I think we need a new law here where in certain cases it can be decided that the jury's names are never revealed so that we can continue to get citizens to step forward, not in fear, to do this great piece of public service, to serve on a jury. That's about as all-American as it gets. But also for their own protection, that it's guaranteed up front. This is going to be controversial. People are going to be angry. Your safety could be at stake. You can let yourself become public if you want, but the court will protect you for all time. I think Judge Perry makes a good point, and I'd like to see such a law. 407-916-5400. Let's go to line one and bring on Mike from Davenport. You're on with the Budman here. Good morning at 8:40. What's your take on this, Mike?
Good morning, Bud. Thank you for the radio show this morning.
You bet.
I agree with the judge because what happens if the other juries do get threats and all, and I would think...
You agree with this? You're agreeing with what I'm saying and what Judge Belvin Perry wants?
Yeah.
Is that the point? Excellent. Thank you. Let's go to Kathy in Allamont Springs on BHL. Good morning, Kathy.
Hey, good morning. Yes, I also agree because they need to protect the jurors. There's no reason why the names need to be let out. I can't think of any good reasons. And then it will, people will be more apt to want to serve on a jury. Anyway, what are the reasons why they want to disclose? That's what I'd like to know. Why do they want to disclose names of any?
Because it's Florida's open records laws, and we do business in the sunshine more than any other state. That's one reason, I guess, we're the sunshine state. And the tradition is, right after the verdict is rendered, that jurors' names are made public. They are not protected. They are not hidden. But I think in certain circumstances, in this case is Exhibit A, we need new legislation. Jenna, where are you on this? I know you've studied law. You have a fondness for the law.
I think it's one of two things. First of all, the decision that he's making is totally legal because personal privacy rights are always going to trump the right of the masses to know. To protect somebody's individual privacy is always going to trump that. And there's so many cases that provide the precedents for that. The problem with creating this law is, what's the test for it? How do you decide if a case is big enough, has had enough coverage to get these juries covered? I mean, it's going to have to be so narrowly tailored. You're going to have to say, okay, it's in this many networks. It's in this many cities.
Oh, it literally would have to be on a case-by-case basis.
But the law is going to have to be so narrowly tailored. I mean, this is going to be contested every time. I think it's needed. It's just going to have to be very carefully done.
You raise good points. You want to weigh in on this right now? I mean, we do business in the sunshine here in Florida. So should jurors know when they get on a case, even like Casey Anthony, that their names are going to be made public when the verdict is rendered? Or do you agree that new legislation is needed for the reasons we cited and the judge has cited for cases like Casey Anthony? As though there could be another case ever quite like it, but there will be others similar enough that a call like this might need to be made. 407-916-5400. Call me. Let's talk it over. It's 842 on BHL.
From the David Moss Chevrolet Sanford Traffic Center, seeing a slowdown westbound along I-4 near the 408. There is a disabled tractor trailer. This is taking a left lane here. Still sluggish as well, eastbound along I-4 in between Kaylee Avenue and Colonial Drive. But looks like traffic is starting to ease up. No problems on
yeah, Metafast after the news headlines.
All up to speed. Well, do expect a minor slowdown if you're traveling along 436 at University Boulevard. Authorities are on scene of a wreck. This is reportedly off to the side, though. From the traffic center, I'm Courtney Bright.
From 540 WFLA, Orlando's 24-hour weather channel. High pressure, the most dominant weather feature for us here today, tomorrow. Just an isolated storm in the forecast both days. 94 this afternoon, 76 tonight, up to 95 for tomorrow. Weather is updated around the clock on 540 WFLA. Ray Stajic from the Weather Channel.
Good morning, I'm Larry Spillman, 540 WFLA News. Coming up at 9. Time's running out to enroll your child in a better school. An inmate bails himself out of jail thanks to a phone glitch. And major jobless reforms about to take effect.
Fighting a losing battle with a battle of the bulge. Boy, I'll tell you what, the Budman can relate to that. You know my story. You remember a couple of years ago when I became the incredible shrinking Budman, got on the Metafast weight control program at my Metafast Center, and with help from my Metafast counselor, lost 75 pounds in 6 months. I mean, the Metafast plan is just unbelievable, and it is so healthy. As the weight comes flying off, you feel like $1 million. That was my experience, because you know what? This was developed by doctors, and the Metafast plan has been recommended by 20,000 physicians nationwide in 30 years, including my doctor. And at your Metafast Center, you can lose up to 2 to 5 pounds a week. Up to 2 to 5 pounds a week. Some folks lose a whole lot more. If you're discouraged about your weight situation, if you've tried and failed on so many other plans, don't give up. Call my friends at the Metafast Center nearest you. And as an added incentive, if you enroll today, you can jumpstart your weight loss with your first week of delicious Metafast meals free and your first 10 pounds lost for free. So tell them the Budman sent you when you call and learn more. Call Metafast, 1-888-9-METAFAST, 1-888-9-MEDIFAST. One more time, it's important. You can do this. If I can do it, anybody can do it. Call them, 1-888-9-METAFAST. Metafast Center is opening up all over Central Florida. One will be convenient for you. There's more on the website, metafastflorida.com.
Traffic on air online, a service of Hungry Howie's Pizza and Subs.
Join the club and get your freebies from Hungry Howie's.
Hey, Howie! Give me mine!
Text Howie's to 30364 for a free order of Howie bread, plus you're entered to win $500 of free gas. Text Howie's to 30364.
Hello, I'm Tim O'Keefe, CEO of the Continental Group, Florida's leading property management company. And this is Al Miller, one of the board presidents we are proud to serve.
You know, it makes a big difference when at the front desk somebody greets you by name. Well, that's the difference that can make when somebody is properly trained, and that's what Continental has done for us. The unit owners and the board of the condo feel that They are representing them in their best interests. In other words, making it a wonderful place to live. You have to listen. You have to be there to understand what are the needs, wants, desires, and fears and
Yaffe, can you give us
anxieties
a
of the
30
unit owners
seconds?
and of the board. With Continental, you get the different pieces. We have come together in how to manage the property and how to do it well. I'm Al Miller. With Continental, we have found that partnership. As far as I'm concerned, I think our model does work and could be a model for other buildings.
Thanks, Al. Happiness is serious business, and no company is more serious about it than the Continental Group. To learn more, visit happiercondos.com or call 855-22-HAPPIER. That's 855-22-HAPPIER.
Hey, boss, look, it's a summer edition of the Crooks R Us newsletter.
Yeah? What's the headlines?
Good news. I figured since SafeTouch has their crash and smash technology, Lester Jackson's gonna have to go up on his price soon.
Really? Hold still.
Ow, what was that for?
That was because you tried the same thing years ago about Lester Jackson having to raise his prices.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and years later, SafeTouch is still less than $1 a day, even with the new video monitoring and crash and smash technology.
Boss, how does he do it?
I don't know, but it's getting tougher and tougher to find homes without SafeTouch. Stop talking about it. I'm getting an ulcer.
Gee, boss, maybe it's time we looked for a real job.
Oh, I hate SafeTouch!
Crooks know to stay away from SafeTouch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of SafeTouch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Terms and conditions apply. $1 a day is 36-month prepaid agreement. Some items mentioned are optional. Call 407-331-0335 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
The bad economy is not only tough on the unemployed, but it's also hard on people employed. Many employers are getting by with less employees handling a heavier workload, and some employers aren't paying overtime to these employees. I'm attorney Matt Inglett with KEL. If you're working more than 40 hours per week and not being paid overtime, we have attorneys standing by waiting for your phone call. Call 800-NEW-LAWS or go to lawyerasap.com. KEL, you have questions, we have answers. Kaufman, Inglett, and Lind, Office Orlando.
The weather on 540 WFLA is brought to you by Office Depot.
Starting your morning the right way. Bud Henniger Live continues now on 540 WFLA.
The furor over the verdict in the Casey Anthony case has fueled a movement to protect the names of jurors for a period of time, maybe for all time, in cases where passions of the public are inflamed. Judge Belvin Perry is calling for that as he announces that the names of the Casey Anthony jurors will not be released by him, those that are still anonymous, until October 25th at the earliest. I think he's absolutely right. In certain cases, literally on a case-by-case basis, this is a change that is needed. As it is now, the tradition is that as soon as the verdict is rendered, the jurors are up for grabs. No protections at all. Here's Ed on the line from Orlando weighing in on this controversy. Good morning to you, Ed. Thanks for hanging on through the break.
Hey, good morning, Bud. Thanks. I think the Sunshine Laws should apply to public service. I think the jurors are performing a civic duty. I think there's a difference. I think that they should be protected by the law. Their identity should be protected, no matter what the case is. And you still hold to the spirit of the Sunshine Laws, public servants, you know, politicians, governors, mayors, whatever, they have the obligation to do their operations in the sunshine, in the light of day.
All right, good take on it, Ed. Thank you. I appreciate it. And I've got to tell you, and God forbid it should happen, that one of the Casey Anthony jurors be attacked, you know, or killed by somebody. There are people out there who are making death threats. They want to kill him. They're so angry about this and so heartbroken that in their view, and in the view of many, and frankly, the view of the Budman, that justice has not been done for little Kaylee in this case. But there are some people who are totally off the deep end here. If God forbid that should happen, good luck getting people to serve in high-profile, controversial court cases. The entire jury system that is so cherished in this country will be compromised and endangered by that. So there are many reasons why Judge Belvin Perry is on the money here with what he's doing and what he is advocating. And I absolutely support it. It would be a tough call, have to be done on a case-by-case basis. But I think the jurors should know, potential jurors up front, if you serve on this jury, your anonymity will be protected by the criminal justice system forever if you want it to be. And if you want to go public, fine. Then you're on your own. But we will give you protections here because we don't want the fact that you might feel as though you're going to be endangered to be a deterrent to you performing your civic duty that is so important to our system. So tell me, is it possible that the behemoth that is McDonald's could have had its knees buckled by Michelle Obama and her food police? I'm talking about Happy Meal changes. What's going on here and what has brought it on? If you haven't heard about this, you'll find it interesting, and I'll welcome your calls at 407-916-5400. We're on it in 60 seconds. Right now, our final check during the show of real-time traffic and weather together, always on the twos.
From the DeVamar Chevrolet Sanford Traffic Center, still looking at some very slow traffic if you're traveling eastbound on I-4. Starts to slow down right around the 408 and doesn't let up again until just past Colonial Drive, so give yourself some extra time if you're traveling in that direction. Good news is westbound I-4 not going to slow you down all through the attractions area. More slow traffic, though, if you're traveling westbound on the 408. That's between Goldenrod and 436. And if you see traffic delays, give the Tip Line a call at 866-676-8477. From the Traffic Center, I'm Monica Peters.
All right, Monica, thanks. We're looking at morning sunshine giving way to the prospect of afternoon showers and storms as the heat and humidity takes us into the mid-90s. We're now hugging 80 degrees already here in Orlando. Happy Meals from McDonald's, a great American tradition. So what do you get? A burger, a drink, fries, and a toy. Isn't that a Happy Meal, Jenna?
That is one Happy Meal.
Yeah, you've had like 4 or 5 this week, right? I mean, that's what they're giving. That's a Happy this morning.
Yeah.
Really, no kidding. We have Shula's 347 serving steak and eggs here for our very special weekend host guests, and you're out getting Happy Meals?
I'm kidding, bud. I bring them for you.
The folks over there in Shula's are over in the corner weeping right now.
They're not weeping. This
They're
food
weeping.
is delicious.
I'm telling you, they're weeping.
They're gonna serve us at our apartments later, right?
Oh,
at
yeah, sure.
They follow
Those
us
would be
home?
separate apartments, would they not?
Yes.
Please.
Yeah.
Please. Come on
I
now.
don't think I could live if it was.
What do you think? What do you think this is? The Monsters in the Morning on AM? Come on, we're not going down that road. All right, let's go here. Let's get into this situation.
I'm not walking out of the building.
Let's go here. Here's the deal. McDonald's all of a sudden, and you know there's been enormous pressure from First Lady Michelle Obama, who has made obesity, childhood obesity, her cause celeb, as First Ladies do with one thing or another. Okay? So everything has to be healthy and nutritious. And I think corporate America is being leaned on heavily by Michelle Obama and the Obama food police at the school level, at the restaurant level. And I think, even though McDonald's, if you waterboarded the CEO, wouldn't admit to this, I think he's totally caved here. They are now going to be serving apples with Happy Meals, half and half with the French fry portion. Now, do you honestly think McDonald's would have done that if Michelle O hadn't been leaning all over him? 407-916-5400. They say they're doing it because they're conscious of nutrition and they care about the health of the kids of America and the obesity epidemic and all of this. Are you kidding me? Give me a break. They are now going to be 50-50, half portion of fries, half portion of apples. This is the food police. And they have leaned all over McDonald's, and they've caved on this. They absolutely have. I believe it. Now, you can also, I'm told, have the option of getting all fries or all apples with your Happy Meal. Now, McDonald's also tells me something that is the biggest piece of poppycock I've heard in a while. We're only doing what people have come to us and told us that they want. We're hearing from our customers. When is the last time you walked into a McDonald's and said, you know, I really wish you'd give us some more of this or some more of that, or could we have some Brussels sprouts? And when is the last time anybody across the counter at McDonald's said to you, is there anything that we could do that we're not doing? Is there anything you'd really, really like that we just don't serve? Please, we really care. Tell us how we could be better. Are you kidding me? I don't know, Jenny, you've been there 4 or 5 times already this morning. That's not my McDonald's experience.
No, get in, get out, whatever you want. Supersize it.
Speaking of get in, get out, time's tight for the phones. Let's go right now. Line 1, Tom, you're in Orlando. Good morning.
Hi, Bud. I just wanted to very quickly say that I kind of support Michelle Obama on this position because, as we know, and you've mentioned, we've got a very serious problem among the kids, the young people here in the country, with the obesity, this diabetes, and healthcare costs going up, and these kids are inactive. And
now you're on to something. Now you're on to something. Mom and Dad, kick them out of the house, get them off the video games, make them run their butts off when they're done with school, maybe walk back and forth to school like we used to. I could have eaten McDonald's fries all day and all night and not have been 2 ounces overweight when I was a kid. It's the activity issue. I object to the food police here, and that's what I think is going on. That's where I am. Line 2, Junior in Orange City, on with a Bud Man. Good morning at 8:57.
Hi, man, Bud. How you doing? Listen, I don't think McDonald's would be doing this unless somehow they were going to profit from it. Somewhere it's going to affect the bottom dollar. They're either going to save money on French fries or apples, or unless they're going to raise the price of the Happy Meal. But I don't believe they would do it unless...
Hey, they're raising the price out of everything, and what's really interesting is their business is improving.
Right.
I don't know what the deal is with that.
I'll tell you what, the one over here in Orange City is closing for 3 months to close down and completely rebuild a whole new McDonald's.
What are they doing, retooling for apples?
They're building new McDonald's. All about 7,500 people over there are going to lose their jobs for 3 months while they rebuild a new McDonald's.
My God, we got to have some giant apple bins over here. This is not going to work. What are we going to do?
They're shutting down the McDonald's for 3 months in Orange City?
3 months. You believe it?
No, I don't believe it.
Me neither.
I smell a rat. I think it's the Obama food police. Must be behind this somewhere. Who knows? Let's go to Claire. Final call on this. Good morning, Claire. Quickly, if you will.
I think Michelle Obama should mind her own business. And what does she have, like all these apple orchards that she owns or something? Too much government intervention.
Okay, fair enough. Well, what do you think is really going on here? I mean, do you think McDonald's, as I think, do you think it's just the fact that they've caved to pressure from the White House? Doesn't matter because Claire hung up on the Bud Man. She's going out to McDonald's. Fries or apples, Claire? I guess we'll never know. Hey, special thanks this morning from Jenna and the Bud Man here to our technical crew, Mike and Frank and the rest of the guys who set us up in our big conference room on the 4th floor here, just off the 50,000-watt front porch. For the final hour of the show, we've been doing it in the presence of some people for whom we have great admiration and appreciation. Our weekend show guests here on Saturday and Sunday. If you haven't tuned into 540 WFLA, it's a whole different deal on Saturdays and Sundays. Experts in all fields. They are our 540 experts, and they are here in great numbers enjoying breakfast courtesy of Shula's 347. And thanks, gang. The food has just been awesome. And we really do appreciate you so much. Learn all about the 540 experts at 540WFLA.com. For Jenna, the Bud Man, the whole team, thanks for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow here on BHL. Until then, from all of us to you, God bless you, and God bless America.
WFLA Pine Hills, WTKS FM HD2, Cocoa Beach.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you. Thanks for your very good audience, and very nice to have you with us here this morning. And again, I mean it. We really do appreciate what you mean to the station.